everyone. Welcome to the That's How We Roll channel. Tonight, Misfits of Alseta, Chapter 2. This is a D&D 5e game, and all the lovely players before you are playing level 9 characters?
Correct.
Yes. But before we get to know everybody, we're over to Lee with an announcement that I hope he's ready for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been ready
Okay.
for like 2 minutes.
Really? Why?
Actually, more like
Hi.
15 seconds.
All right. So, anyhoozle, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is an amazing idle game. In fact, they just, I think, season 7 just went live, and they've got some really awesome Rivals of Waterdeep skins, and they're so beautiful, so amazing, and you can be a part of that. And if you'd like, you can even have a free Electrum chess code. All you have to type in is Githzerai booties, and you can get a free chess code. Once again, that's Githzerai booties.
That's my favorite.
Free chess code. Anyway, also, I'm Lee Goldberg. I am a pancake artist, and I also play as David, the Circle of Stars Druid in this, I don't know, professional program. And I just am really excited to be back and figure out where we go next. April, you're number 2.
I'm number 2. Hi. I got distracted. I was reading my character sheet. It's been a while. I'm April. You can find me everywhere as April Raygun. I play Nira, the little purple kobold bard. That's me. Everything's fine now. The danger is over.
For now. Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Plicque. You've been walking Jacob all over the internets. I use him pronouns. And as per usual, I'll be playing Kotatar. He's also he, him. And he's a wonderful Githzerai Horizon Walker Ranger. And, oh no. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just be a little louder for you. Yeah. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. Hi, it's me again. Yeah, Kotatar here. Let's do some limbo shit.
Hey. I didn't see you there. I'm
Hey.
Daniel Denova. Oh my god. You can find me on socials. I do voice acting, illustration for a job. And I do this for absolute fun. Fantastic, because all these wonderful people that I get to play with. I play San Leon. I play the Dhampir Barbarian. And I'm very happy that we were able to help out Kotatar fix his realm.
Yes, and next is me, Dani Gage. Hi, I'm on the internet as Bitterthorn, and I play Silva, the fire Genasi Warlock of this party. Jesus, every damn time I gotta think
Nailed
about it. She's great. She's a lot of fun. Obviously, so memorable. And,
She's great.
we go through
She's great.
pronouns.
Wait till you see what she's casting tonight.
Wonder what it's gonna be.
Some shade.
Devious stares in my
Probably.
direction.
spell.
It's redacted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our little game and our chuckle fucks. I am Damien, he, him pronouns. I'm playing Reginald Bellagamba, fighter / paladin. Wow, things change. And I'll quickly do Indigenous acknowledgements. I'm beginning today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which I am playing from, and pay my respects to the elders past and present. We have Daniel from the land of Aotearoa, land of the Maori people. And from North America, we have people from the Bernardino, Tatavium, Hohokam, Tumakua, Creek, and Cherokee. Pay our respects to all Indigenous peoples all over the world. I will also just quickly add that we do have a Ko-fi coming. I have been a bit slack. I just need to finalize it, and we have exciting goals, and hopefully you will join us and support all these wonderful players here so we can do fun stuff. And we love you all. Hope!
And I am Hope LaVelle, your dungeon master for the evening. You can follow me on the socials at the Hope LaVelle to keep up with all the stuff I'm doing, because sometimes I do stuff. But before we get started, I thought we could roll into 2024 with a joke, because I got this
A
brand new
joke.
book full of jokes. Okay, here's my favorite one. Some of you may have heard this, but it makes me laugh every time. Okay, so don't spoil it. Okay. Where does the Dark Lord keep his evil armies? In his evil sleeveys! So good.
It was a joy having Duval be a part of this cast, and we.
Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Duval, do you get it? Because of sleeves. Arms
So
and sleeves.
I had a lot of fun,
Bet
you
you wish
guys.
you were on
So we have
time
a
now.
sudden announcement. This is my last episode. Limbo is going to burn to the ground
By your hand.
by my hand. See, Mayor Og can do 2 meteor swarms. I can do 7.
And with all of that said, let's roll our intro and get started.
Hope.
Yay.
Sound.
Darkness is falling. Through chaos, fate is calling. Your dreams are haunting you. Nightmares becoming true. So will you stand and fight? Will you survive the night? It's time to awaken and find a light.
I have.
And,
no, it was good
and
to know.
action.
Action.
Okay, a recap. So, our adventurers have been through a lot lately. And in the midst of all the chaos of Limbo, they defeated a Chaos Phoenix to help 2 gods defeat a Chaos Phoenix. Fought air elemental gods to help things with nightmares, and there's been lots of nightmares and things have been happening, and that's a great recap. So it's time for the Misfits to have a little bit of a break to recoup. They have decided to make Limbo their home base of operations, somewhere they can go to or be to regroup and make plans and just find safe haven. It's been about a month now since all the chaos with the Chaos Phoenix. Limbo is, or I should say Shocked Lore and the Floating City, the Githzerai home world is being rebuilt quite quickly, quite efficiently, and things are slowly starting to turn back to normal, which, you know, for the chaos of Limbo may not be super normal, but normal for the Githzerai. In that month, a lot of things have happened. The Misfits have each settled down with their own little home. A nice little place to stay, a little abode. And we're going to get to learn about them as we go around in a circle, around the table, and learn a little bit about what everyone's been up to. And we're going to start tonight. Who's going to be the lucky one? Nira. What does your little abode look like as you begin to leave your house and head to meet up with everyone else?
Sorry, the music was just so perfect. I just expected like in my head, I just pictured Nira walking down a walkway with like a British overtone. You see the little cottage and a little, I can't do that long enough to do that joke, but that'd be really funny. So Nira's house, so Nira is from the mountains in a cave. So her house is kind of built into a hill that wasn't there before. So think 100% Shire Hobbit, like a big door in the middle of the side of a mountain wall, or just like a hill wall, and inside has just stuff everywhere. Think of an episode of Hoarders with a fantasy twist. So in my head, like, have you seen Howl's Moving Castle? You know his bedroom?
Yeah.
That just stuff on
Lots
the
of
wall.
shiny
She has
bits.
shoved just shiny things she's collected, things that if anyone walked in, probably like, where did you get why do you have my forks? It's just things she's randomly collecting from everywhere. There's like paper strewn about the floor. It's a mess, but it's a clean mess. Everything's prestidigitated. Nothing is bad, but she walks out and papers fly about her. And one thing I'll let you all know about is in her house, she has all these little rooms, and every room has a little tunnel. And she has little tunnels into everyone else's homes where she can just pop up and say hello. And maybe find something for her walls.
I love it. David, you also have been called to this meeting, and you are leaving your abode. What does it look like?
So, David's bedroom, it's very cozy. There's not a lot there. It's pretty sparse. There's just a bed in the middle. Not in the middle, but like in the middle of the room, up against the wall, there's a bed. And then there's just shelves of his library, which is not extensive. There's maybe 12.5 books. And while they aren't a ton of them, they are all very well worn and read. A lot of love has gone into just reading through them and reading them again. And then in kind of its own space on one of the shelves, but separated almost like purposefully and disdainfully, is the book that he got from the library about prophecy stuff. And it is unlike the other books, untouched and unopened. Outside of his bedroom, there is a really well put together kitchen with just a spice rack going up the side that has every mundane and exotic spice you could think of. Almost like a French press coffee. I mean, like being able to kind of create these things out of limbo and having a really good grasp of limbo now. It's just like this perfect kitchen to make anything. And you can tell that there's some very limbo specific foods that he has been practicing to try to, acclimate well. And he has tested these food items by making food for Kotatar and Makiak whenever they try it. How successful he has been, I don't know. But in one other room, there is this hole in the ground that looks as if it is spillover from Nira's house in the room. And that is Nira's bedroom, because she pops in so often that David is pretty convinced they're roommates. So she has her own room in the house. And he heads on over to the meeting place.
Next, we pan over to Silva's abode. Silva, what do we see as you begin to leave your abode?
Oh, I step out, just running my hand through my hair as I kind of like ruffle like what's obviously some towel dried hair. I clearly just took like some sort of shower or bath, and close the door behind me. It's pretty standard. It kind of looks like it's just straight out of the Sears catalog, very just home to order. Not quite anything defining about it. It's like a light gray with white trim, and the inside pretty, what's the word? Furnished with all the necessities. Just like nice, what's the, like a a walnut wood, kind of like medium to darkish brown, and the only really bit of decoration that she has in there is the shawl of Oberon is draped as a sort of like kind of mantle stole over the fireplace as a nice little runner, little pop of orange. And there might be a couple of just little trinkets she's collected in our journeys, but nothing from home, nothing else from home that makes this a home. And I just kind of adjust my clothing as I walk forward.
And across the way a little bit, we get to Reginald's home. What do we see?
Reginald's home is quite monastic, very simple. Got some incense all around, little temple, little shrines here and there. You'll notice on each of his shrines is a little painting of each of his friends, which he has a little bit of incense that he lights. He got these from one of the local, I guess, artists of the Githzerai people. And also on one side of the wall is this big bas relief, and it's made out of topaz and ruby. And it's over this past month, Reginald has been bothering Silva to help him make this beautiful bas relief, and it's a bas relief of Makiak in his robes, as a kind of offering or worship piece. And he just breathes in and then walks out of his home.
San Leon, you soon make your way out. What do we see?
Got me shook, dude. I had all this stuff planned out, then I heard shrine to make.
I instantly looked at Jacob's face.
Yeah, I just immediately looked at Jacob
Hold
being
on,
like,
it took me a second.
like-
that is 100% a shrine to Makiak.
Essentially.
Okay, cool. I was like, oh, that's sweet. You didn't know. That's not. That's for him.
all right, well, yep. So, of course, San Leon hasn't really had an abode for himself before. Of all the roughly 400 years, so he's taken a great deal in sort of crafting something interesting for himself. First off, as you enter, you'll see that the entire house is made of various types of woods, quite rustic. The favorite being redwood. You see that it is fairly open plan. There are these steps that go up to an open plan style bedroom that looks over the rest of this sort of basically big room. Like it would be, if it wasn't open plan, probably roughly the size of like 5 of the smaller rooms and so on, but it's open plan. And you can see every little bit is changed into a different thing. So it could be like the dining room, the room with, you can see that there's like a kind of a hearth and a few chairs for reading. You can see that there's books on the tables. A lot of these books are fantasy books that deal with things such as heroes, overcoming great odds. And then you see that there is indeed a sort of latch that goes downstairs into a basement area. If you were to go down there, well, you'd say it's a training area. It's just training area. You see that there is a sand pit, and you can see that there's various different types of kind of pell. So of course, as you know, a pell is basically just something you strike with a sword to kind of train with. You can see there's pells, there's punching bags. There's a few walls you can climb up and down. You can see that also there is a small kind of libations area sort of near that as well, so that there's just, if you need water, if you need some kind of juice or like a quick pick-me-up snack, it's there. But otherwise, yes, over the walls in the open plan area, you can see that there's various like small weapons, daggers. You can see that there is paintings here and there. You can see that San Leon has been trying to paint. trying being the operative word. If you walk in, there's an Etzel, and it looks kind of like not trying to be stick figures, but it is. Of some of the exploits that we've been doing. You can see that there's like a kind of like a painting of like us fighting what looks like a giant chicken. And you can tell what everyone is except because it accentuates certain things. So like the small thing is purple. Oh, that's Nira. That one is that a bow and arrow? No, maybe that's just a D with a no, that's a bow and arrow. And that one has a flame thingy that's going around it, which has been crossed out by paint. And now you can see there's like these little like really basic like 5-year-old drawing of stars around this one figure. Oh, of course that's David. And with one of them is just marginally bigger than the rest of them, with what looks like a clown mask. No, that's not a clown mask. That's some sort of jester's mask. I'm not sure. No, that's Reginald. Obviously, the painting didn't do the mask justice. And then San Leon is just there, like as a basic stick figure with 2 swords, as he walks out.
And finally, Kotatar. These homes are very close to each other. They all share a common courtyard with a little water feature and some magical displays that come out of them, a very limbo-esque aura. Do you create a little abode here, or do you just stay at your abode in Shraklor?
I just stay at my my abode in Shraklor. But I think, given that, I think he's maybe finally getting used to the lack of noise, the lack of consistent clattering, and Reginald asking a really weird question to Makiak. Oh, what color is this thing? And why does that even matter? And he, as he's sort of like heading downstairs, he looks down at the steps and then places 2 hands on the ground, and then pops up into a handstand, and handstand walks down the steps, and then back bends at the end and like pops up. Kind of sighs, looks around at the empty, and sees right above the right, actually to the left, I think, of the door, the newest upgrade to his abode, a very familiar poem. And looks at it for probably longer than he'll ever admit, and runs to the kitchen, grabs this large carafe of freshly steeped tea, and as he walks out, he kisses his hand, presses it on the palm, and walks out the door.
As you walk out the door, you hear, "You're in such a rush. Are you going to wait for me?"
Kind of spins around. I actually thought that was the one that was late.
And Makiak will join you as you guys leave, and you make your way to the floating city. Everyone makes your way, so everyone else is in the floating city. The floating city is still being reassembled, rebuilt. The foundation is there, and through magical means, monasteries have reappeared, and temples, and even shops and libraries. And you guys find yourselves in a temple, a small temple, and as you enter, it is lined with books and and maps and things. And in the far back is a private room with a large table. And that is where you guys meet up. Makiak joins you. And then it is just the 6 of you all. You gather around. Yes?
I'm just, as I walk in, I'm pulling a mousetrap off my coat.
Where it came from, no one knows. You guys meet up and find your place around this table. And a month has gone by and much has happened. And today you find yourselves meeting to discuss your next plans. And as you do so, you find your seats. You look warmly at everyone. And in just the moment before you all speak with each other, David.
Yes.
What was the main thing that David focused on over the past month of being here at Limbo?
Well, walking up to the chair, David has like a sleeveless, almost like a duster jacket sort of thing. Like it's got like a kind of a like a collar that kind of comes up a little, and it's just silver lined, and all the pattern work on it is just like celestial and stars and things like that, and it almost looks like it in itself. It's not really, but just the patterns and colors look like it's moving. And David, when he kind of presented the idea of staying in Limbo, he found himself going to the Anarchs and kind of asking them to, in a kind of part, train with them, but also he wanted to see if he could use, because he's not the strongest, but in Limbo he's becoming really adept in using it. So he's actually working with the Anarchs to sort of sculpt with Limbo, repairing walls, fixing so he's been like helping kind of in that sense to rebuild actual like buildings and things like that. And he's been doing that with like the Anarchs that are kind of that at the, they've been like holding everything together with their abilities and things like that. And now they're kind of helping kind of focus that to rebuild. And probably a week or two into that process, as he's sort of had like kind of been able to just be in touch with that more, he actually goes and calls upon Kotatar, Nira, and Makiak to have a discussion.
Where does this take place?
Probably in the courtyard, just cause like he's like out there kind of like gazing at the stars, and he just kind of comes and asks them to like join him briefly.
So we go back then a week or two into the month. Kotatar, Makiak, David, and you said Nira?
Mm-hmm.
You all have found yourselves in the courtyard as per David's request.
I think he starts by going to Nira and saying, when we finished our battle and you talked about me sounding like someone else, and wondering if there was someone else in there, I don't like how I responded to you. I was very dismissive of the idea, and you didn't deserve that. And I think it came from the fact that I've spent, ever since I got the abilities that I didn't train to be a druid. I didn't train to adventure. It just happened to me, and I felt that I haven't been in control of any of what's happened since. And so the idea that there's another entity, it scared me so much that I treated you, the one person I would never want to treat, in a way that was just unforgivable. I just want to start by saying I'm sorry.
It's okay. There was a lot going on.
And I
It's
don't
a lot
know.
to say that you're not you.
Yeah. And whether that is or isn't the case, Kotatar, Marquis, I can feel limbo and something else coursing in my blood, inside. I came here and I hated it and I didn't understand anything, and now, and as like I like lift my hands, like just like some like stones kind of like come up from the ground and like spiral around, and they form into a cup. And I'm just like, that's not hard. I barely thought about wanting a cup. Does this make sense to any of you?
May I? And I'm gonna pop
Please.
off Detect Thoughts to hear if anything during that conversation his brain changed or if he still sounded like static.
It's like you hear my thoughts and it's less static, but it's almost like echoing. Like everything that I'm thinking as the words are being thought, they're being like kind of like when you do like row, 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 and then someone else jumps in, row. It's like everything I'm thinking. And if you want to dig deeper, David is like looking at you, kind of like nodding.
Okay, Nira is going to, we're both short anyway, crouch down a little bit and kind of look up at you. And I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to say hello, but here is where I need to point something out. In the description of Detect Thoughts, questions verbally directed at a target creature naturally shape the course. I'm trying to target whatever's inside of David and not David. I'm trying to target the echo.
Hope
I'm
if
trying to
you'll
pull
allow.
the echo into thought.
May I take the scene? So
you also get a save on this.
Right, I don't save. I am letting you in.
Okay.
You close your eyes and everything is black. You are just standing. It's like you've been transported into just a blackness. And I step into frame. David steps into frame and is like, hi. And then out from him, so many Davids start to spiral around you and they all say hi. Like you can't count. It's like infinite Davids.
Using Detect Thoughts, I'm going to try to pinpoint the echo. And it's if it's different, if it sounds different, if its mental wavelength sounds different than mental wavelengths around me.
It doesn't. It's every single one is David.
I'm gonna try to
Nira,
do
what do you
something.
see?
Well, this is what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna message Kotatar. I need your help. I know you could. You've done this. I think you can hear things or see things. You could do this, right?
He wordlessly puts a hand on both your shoulders and also casts Detect Thoughts.
So I'm gonna try to pull Kotatar. with the magic of limbo to where we are.
I'll even go further and say Makiak looks at you, David, and asks non-verbally for permission to do so as well.
And so, since Nira's still in there, she'll like see every David go, yeah, come on in.
Okay, so
It's all in unison.
All three of us
Perception
are
check?
now.
Are
What's
they
that?
all in unison? Perception check.
Give it
I feel like
give it more of
something's
an
gotta be off.
investigation.
Okay. Nine. They all look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Kotatar, Makiak, I need help.
Okay.
And when they come in, I'm like, it's something. It's not right. There's too many.
David.
Yeah. And like the echoing of it, because it's so in sync, starts to just sound like one voice.
Something that we've talked about before is when I'm on the prime material, I feel different. I feel like I'm a half a step slower, like I lost something. Do you feel the opposite? Do you feel like you've gained something?
I also felt when I was on the prime material plane, not a step slower because it's all I knew, but yeah, I gained a step, I feel like, since I've been here.
During this time, Nira has pulled out an instrument and is absent-mindedly playing it. I'm working towards enthralling performance.
Okay, and what does that do?
It charms a creature.
Of your choice,
So,
or just one?
5 creatures of my choice that have watched and listened to you perform for 1 minute. They can make a wisdom saving throw, and if not, they're charmed for me for 1 hour. Or talent takes damage.
Okay. So you begin to do that. Makiak looks at you, David, and just says, when you needed protection, Limbo answered. Limbo took you in and saved you. And in return, you accepted Limbo into yourself. This does not happen lightly. There is something within you that was made for Limbo, something I cannot even see.
That doesn't make me feel a whole lot better, but and like we all like I just like it used to be kind of a little bit discordant, but now if David looks to his right to the Davids, every single David also looks right, even if
Like
there's
the
no one to the
Ant-Man
right.
movie, like like everyone sort of moves.
And then as this conversation is kind of continuing, very slowly, you start seeing the Davids recede and start just combining into one another until they just eventually form into just David. And now it's just the 4 of us.
What's different between all of the multitudes of you and what just happened? How do you feel now?
I don't feel different. I never felt them. I just felt me. And I don't feel more or less of me now.
Makiak is gonna do an Arcana check, followed by Detect Magic. So that is a 23 on Arcana,
Okay.
and then 30 feet of detect magic. Does Makiak sense anything magical here?
I mean, is limbo in and of itself, would it ping as magical or its own
Yes,
thing?
but this Arcana is more geared towards an entity. Is there
With
a
that high of a
magical-
roll, I would say it is like literally like the kind of conversation, the comment of infinite Davids. It is just David infinitely. So it's not so basically he would discover that there aren't entities. There's just so much David. And magically it's just pure limbo. And what was his role for that? Just detecting it?
Yeah, just to detect.
He detects like a glue, a void as a glue, like holding the limbo into the body. Like so it just doesn't course through, it stays. And that's why you kind of see the like spiral of like in his eyes, you can see like it like spiraling through him. If you look in his eyes, you can see like the rotation of it sometimes.
How do you feel with this new ability, new power? Do you feel disturbed? Do you feel worried about it?
I never felt disturbed or worried about it until I saw the worry in Nira when it happened. And the prophesizing was maybe a little worrisome, but I've never felt better, and having you three here feels right.
It also seems that whatever this is that you are awakening to, it is still merely the beginning.
Fun.
Perhaps in time. And with patience and training, you can learn to master it.
I'll continue with the Anarchs to build a city and train, yeah.
You see him kind of, it's probably a little odd coming from him. And typically he's got, serious stony eyes, but there's this softness to them that you can see. And a bit, not quite a smile, but like a sort of a pursed lips a little bit. Perhaps it will just be like knitting.
Is there any last moments, David?
Nira, is there anything that you would want to contribute in this, or? I guess Nira, David would kind of look to Nira though, and just be like, "How do you feel?"
Bill just nods like, if you feel okay, it's fine. But she's not okay with it.
Give me a deception check, Nira, if you want to hide that fact that you are not
Yes,
fine
I
with
would
it.
like to do that.
My passive insight is 19.
Ooh, okay.
That was
So
a
is mine.
natural 1.
Oh, yeah. She can't hide it. You do know she's not okay with it. Whatever you do with that information, up to you.
But before you could do anything, I'm dropping Detect Thoughts. And I'm
And
out.
she is gone.
She disappears. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still standing next to you. I'm just not
Yeah.
in Mind Palace.
We're not in the
I
thing.
know.
Yeah.
I drop it. I just run as fast as
Oh no, she got away again.
Flat
Damn it.
planescape.
I think that there's a sadness in David's face seeing that as he kind of slowly like exits whatever this void is, leaving Detect Thoughts.
David, with this month that has gone by and what you have learned and how you have been helping rebuild the floating city, you gave one to your survival. San Leon,
Yes.
you look around to your comrades around the table at the end of this month, knowing that you guys have come together to discuss a plan. What has San Leon been focusing on this past month here?
Well, I want to start by saying, as we all sort of gathered together, over the past month, you see that San Leon's hair has become a bit more unruly and a bit wavy. It's funny, before it was very slicked back and fairly straight, and you could even see almost like an indent around here for some reason. That's gone. It's now a bit more fluffy, a bit more volume, a bit more wavy. And you can see that now he's bought a coat from Limbo, whether it be to remember it or not. He's bought a coat that also has a piece here that can hold it on, almost like a cloak. So it goes down to the calves, and quite often he'll take the sleeves off and just have it kind of almost cloak-like over the shoulder. What he has been doing is, there's a couple things. So a solo scene of him, you would note that he has been furiously kind of writing in his abode. You can see him writing, taking down notes. You see, if anyone was ever spying on him, you see that he's like tapping furiously on his head and sort of going and starting writing more. As to what that is, maybe you'll find out, maybe you won't. You see that he had been painting, as I told you before. Bit of painting, trying to paint. Reading a lot. He'd stay up. You noted that when left to his own devices, he often stays up at night and reads, and then tends to sleep during the day. At one point or other, Nira, you hear at your door.
Hello, come in. It's probably always unlocked anyway.
I just kind of open it. Is the door like not
You
short?
gotta bend down.
or is-
Yeah, it's short.
Yeah,
it's
you
short.
gotta bend.
My whole
So,
house, my entire house is short, so you probably get comfortable and you're like, oh, and then probably go outside.
I Gandalf that and hit the top.
She doesn't need an 8-foot ceiling. She's 2 foot tall.
Yeah. You see that he just kind of, after like me fumbling around for like a couple minutes, you can see that San Leon's a bit, not like uncomfortable, but he keeps accidentally bumping his head on things.
Oh, actually, come to my tall room, and we go into another room. That's
You have tools.
it's the boy.
It's
I
4
have a
feet
room,
tall.
Of course.
It's
It's like,
wonderful.
wait, who's the tallest in the party?
Yes.
Sometimes Reginald.
I'm 6'1",
Me in giant
Okay.
I
form.
think.
I think it's like 6'2". The tall room, so it's like barely comfortable.
I just like look up and just kind of like go on my tiptoes and just touch it with the tip of my head, go back down again. Well, we haven't really hung out properly, and we did say we were going to jam, you and I.
Yes, I actually, I did want to come find you. I have this thing, and I
What
would
was
like to
that?
know how to use it. And she pulls out her rapier. She's always had but never used.
You see San Leon instantly go for the sunblade, goes, no, not that one. Pulls out the other rapier,
But I mean, we
non-magical
can
one.
talk if whatever. I just was gonna find you so we could do this because I need to learn how to. And she just like flails it around.
You're going to damage your house. I would suggest, if we want to do this, we come to my training abode. I have a training station in my house. But
That's probably better.
would you like to jam first? Or would you like to
uh,
train first?
I'm always ready.
Always ready. I love it. Where was the one? You see him pull out this kind of. It's a strange lute, maybe a lyre. And you can see that the patterns on this thing is kind of, you see like the washing of waves, kind of like almost like an ocean sea spray that's been carved into the wood. And you can see that there are certain, where the tuning sort of like pieces are, you can see that they've kind of been adorned with shells and various kind of sea-like pieces on the strings. Are strange looking. There's most certainly strings on this lyre, but it's almost like they've been interwoven with bits of almost like dried seaweed twisted into it. He goes, well, what do you want to play? I see.
What do you know? Oh, you sing? Okay, what's your favorite song?
Ooh, oh, that's a hard one. And you see San just kind of like he just kind of ponders for a minute and goes, well, my friend used to sing this song all the time, and I think I'll give it a go. And you see that he kind of starts like making sure that's like, this thing hasn't been tuned in a while, and just kind of tunes it. Goes, I will play it nowhere near as good as he did, but let's give it a go. It's apparently a water genasi piece.
Ooh, is that where you got your instrument from?
Yes, I would say I got it from my friend. Yes. And you can
Tilts
see
her
that he's
head. You can see like she puts a pin in that for later. Okay, what's the song?
well, the song is it's called Sea Spray. And it's apparently a homage to the joining of the land and sea. So it's the tonal of it is basically where worlds join. That's how I explained it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. April's taking notes to remember this later. I can't talk and write at the same time.
One thing that he used to do, which was quite amazing, was he would use illusionary magic to put he'd play in the tavern, and he would see that everything just became the ocean, lapping up onto people's like legs, and you could smell the sea and sort of the beach. It was phenomenal.
That sounds
I can't
beautiful.
do that.
I can't make things look like things anymore. I kind of lost that in the first place we went. The cards. Oh man, they're probably still alive down there.
Hey.
I can make things smell, and I prestidigitate see smell.
You see Sanleon just like is almost like paralyzed for a good 5 seconds, and you see him shake his head. And go, all right. Shall we play?
We should play the song.
Yes. I guess we do performance checks.
I was gonna allow it to just.
Oh, just jam? Okay. If it's just based off roleplay, Sanleon is rusty, but it's there. You know, he can play. It's just a bit stiff.
Mm-hmm.
I did roll for it. I got a natural 20 for a 33. Nira doesn't know the song, but I think she picks it up real quick.
Yeah, so San, I did roll for it just for funsies, and I rolled a 2 on the dice.
Oh no.
For a 6. It's not good. He can play it. He can play the bars, but it just sounds sad.
I think if you'll allow me hope with my 33, you start playing it and Nira just kind of starts to get it because of her knowledge of music. And as you're playing, Nira, not hard, but you'll feel like a little gust and your finger will change. She's trying to help you play the song better in her own little way.
The corner of Sanleon's mouth just kind of curls upwards in a half smile and goes, and just continues to. He sings. It's I don't know if this would catch you off guard or not. It's meant to be a happy song, but it sounds mournful. And then halfway through, you see that San just kind of sort of stilts and kind of catches on himself and goes, you haven't seen him like this before, and he's very flustered and just kind of, if it would be all right, I think maybe we can continue on a bit later.
Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about it?
Sure, why not? And you see.
Would you like a cup of tea? I know that David and Kotatar do this before someone talks to them. I feel like I'm supposed to.
I would love a cup of tea, yes.
Nira brings out, goes to the kitchen, throws a bunch of stuff on a tray, mismatched cups. One of them is for sure one of your cups, and brings out tea and snacks.
You color-coded that cup, didn't you?
I have a cup for everyone.
That's fantastic. Well, you chose the right colors. That's my favorite. What tea is this? I mean, takes a sip. Ah, a classic. Bold. Good tea. Right. I haven't told anyone this. But I've been around you all for a while, and I feel feelings welling up inside me that I haven't felt for a while. I think it best I can talk about my friend, but I might leave out bits for later, if that's all right. It's hard to talk about it all at once.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Thank you. My friend, Petra Court was their name. They were essentially a roaming bard. I made friends with them back when I was, let's say, living at home. And I would sneak off to various towns and villages, and one night I met him playing one of his pieces. The funny thing is that I aspired music as well. So I listened, and after that I talked to him. And we hit it off quite well. He was about as he was about as egotistical as I was at the time. Let's put it that way. Believe it or not, I've mellowed out quite a lot over the last 400 years.
You hear Nira going, what?
Oh, I know. I'm painfully self-aware, Nira. Painfully so. But we hit it off, and we would play, and he would teach me to play. And I thanked him for it, and well, he was an amazing mentor over the next 10 years. We became fast friends. In fact, you see this doublet I'm wearing under, and he just kind of goes, "Why am I still wearing this coat? Hold on." Takes the coat off. This doublet, you've probably seen me quite protective of it. That was his doublet, actually. So I wear it as a to remember him by. When I left to seek greener pastures, leave it at that in terms of what I talk about in that regard, I went to go past the village that he was from, and it was gone.
The village was gone?
Razed. Burned.
I'm so sorry.
Well, so I searched through the rubble. I was stricken with grief, as you might imagine. And I found his lyre. Now, I never found his remains. Maybe he escaped. I don't know. But to this day, I've held on to it. However untuned it is, I do try to tune it. It's quite fickle, this thing. But I've never changed the strings out, and I've never had to. weirdly. And over the years, I've played it less and less. I suppose over time, as my memories of this incident became more in the back of my mind, the more I looked at it, the more I dreaded pulling the instrument out. It would bring it freshly back to my conscious. It has. You see that he's trembling a little bit, and you see him steady his hand again. He was with the cup of tea, he's trembling a bit. But I think it's good. I want to remember him. But it's going to take a while to get to grips with it, I think. Do you understand?
I think I do.
Okay.
You lost someone that you cared about very much, and you don't know what happened, and it's hard to think about it. How long ago was this?
That's what I was about to bring up. I don't know if he's still alive. It was about 400 years ago.
Nira's doing math in her head. Do water Genasis live that long? April's asking, not Nira.
I think they follow the rules of Elven, so
Yeah.
Could be.
possibly.
There's still a chance. We could look. If we're gonna go, everyone seems to be up in arms about the vampire family, and if they want to go that way, and we walk past, it's not good. It wouldn't hurt.
Maybe. I haven't been back since those 400 years have passed. I don't know what's changed. So much will have changed. Maybe. Maybe I could ask around, but no, I don't know. Most of the population there were human. Generations will have gone past.
You know what? I don't. Everyone's saying kobolds only live like 5 years, and I know for a fact we live much longer than that. So I don't think we could trust anyone's definition of time, and we could always go look. Or at least get some closure. Last time you were there was emotionful, and you weren't able to do the thing where you, like, grieve. You probably also have never grieved on your run. You're allowed to do that.
You know, I think I'm starting to realize that this is the safest I've been in hundreds of years. I've always been on the run. I've never been able to be comfortable. The few times I've been comfortable, I've lost more people. And I'm so scared of losing all of you.
We fought a god. Like 3 of them in like a week. I don't want to discredit and say that we can't, but like we're doing pretty good. I think if anybody you're gonna try to be comfortable and relax about, I think we might be them. We could help. I could also make the dome again, and then nothing could get it for like 8 hours. Nothing is gated in there. So we could always just take a nap in there. Let's get everybody.
I've always wondered about that dome. Can things dig underneath it?
No, it's got a bottom.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have lots of sisters. I had to learn to use it.
So do I. Well, you want to do some training?
Yeah, let's stab things now.
Yes, I've got pels, so you can actually stab actual things. We'll see how strong you are. It'll be great. Come. And I step up and almost hit my head on the tall roof because I jumped too much and go, we'll need to remember that. Right.
I'll
Come,
make a tall
Nira. You can do that. As he exits the
This is limbo. Still,
Oh,
like
yes.
anything is like you could. You were confused. I had 2 rooms and you have a fighting pit. I don't know why that confused you.
I get, I'm still not 100% used to limbo. As we're walking over wherever, maybe as a courtyard or something to the next abode. I'll do something limbo related, maybe I'll change something. And then if I haven't for a while, I'll just forget I can.
I get that. That's probably true. I keep trying to make more stuff to see how much stuff I can get, and stuff keeps coming.
Ooh, that means that you're good at it. I think it was the Anarchs, I believe. I can't remember. Isn't Anarchs? And he opens his own door, like short for anarchy. I don't. And walks through the door.
I think we just mutter back and forth as we go and
Yeah.
go to fight. We don't stop
Don't understand.
talking, but I feel like if we keep
Nah.
doing this, it's just going to be us muttering together.
Prattle, 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 prattle. Both of us just like, yes.
Limbo small talk.
So
And-
Sanleon does train you. Yes.
Yes, yes. I'm going to
Um,
learn how to use this weapon.
Nira learns a little bit of how to use a weapon. And Sanleon, in your time in this month, you get a +1 to your performance.
Ooh.
We come back to the table. Everyone is seated now. And Silva, you glance around at all of your friends and you reflect back on what this month has meant for you. What has the overarching idea been for your month? And you're muted.
Right. Sorry. Thank you. I look around the table. The camera kind of like pans away, and you notice that under the table, I am kind of picking underneath my nails. They're painted black, and there's like something caked underneath the nail that I'm kind of just picking at. And you see my thoughts go back to what I was doing this morning. That I've been doing every day this past month, and I'm on the ground of this small home. And there's the simple blue rug in the center, and it's been rolled back. And instead of where the rug usually sits, there are piles of books, pages open to different pages, and chalk in my hands, covering my hands. I've been wiping things away, readjusting, and you see some sort of circle, some sort of magical type circle. Not sure what the purpose is, but I'm scratching furiously at it as I sign defeat and wipe it over and kick the rug back over it, because it was another fail again today. But I'm studying magic. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure out how to channel whatever this stuff is in me, this ability I've been given. It's not how Nira describes it. It's not how David describes it. It's not working. And we come back to me at the table as I dust off the last bits of grime under my nail. And I look around the table, waiting for the meeting to begin.
Silva, in your month of being private about what you do and in your own time hiding that this is something you're working on, you gain a +1 to your Arcana.
Okay, sweet.
Reginald, you find a seat probably closer to the front of the table at the top. And as you take your seat, what has this past month been for you?
Okay, so Reginald this past month has been, apart from the things already described, has been around Makiak a lot, has been trying to learn as much techniques as possible, and probably getting under his skin a little bit with the amount of questions he gives him and how often he is at his doorstep. So in the times when Makiak says he's busy, Reginald would have been sword training, I think, with Sanleon, trying out new techniques and the such. And also, as mentioned, he would have been setting his house up and working with Silva to create this beautiful bas relief of his master. So we go back to a scene where Silva is at Reginald's house, and he's invited Silva into his abode, and he begins by saying, well, as the camera pans to this bas relief that is rubies and topaz, it is bright colors, very bright. And he welcomes Silva in and says, "Oh, Silva, what do you think? Is it bright enough, do you think?"
I think it's bright enough. Are you sure Kotatar is going to be okay with you having whatever this is?
This is to remind me. This is to remind me of my master.
I know, but it comes off more like you're kind of like crushing on him.
Crushing him? Oh, no. He's purely my teacher.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I just make sure Kotatar knows that if he sees this.
Yes, I haven't talked to him much this month. Oh, listen, there's a bit of a scratch there. Let me get that.
Yeah,
would you like it?
Maybe like less candles here. I don't know. It gives off like a vibe. I think just having it is, enough probably.
Yes, maybe 27 candles is a bit too much.
Yeah, maybe like narrow it down to like one.
Yes, I'll take them.
Yeah, they're pretty though. I mean, you can like
yeah,
use them for decoration.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
Just not right here.
Would you like some? I believe this is called orange juice. Would you like some?
Sure.
Sure. I met this.
You've never had orange juice before?
Well, I've had juice, but I don't think I've had something this bright.
I guarantee you've had orange juice before.
Really?
You've had to have orange juice before.
Really?
It's definitely at your parents' table.
I thought that was grapefruit juice, but okay. I met this charming Githzerai lady named Shamarath, and I don't know where the hell she got orange juices for, or oranges for that matter, but...
I don't know. Maybe an orange tree.
In limbo? One does never cease.
I have no idea how the fauna of this place or the flora. I don't know. What's it called? Fruit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where oranges grow better, but I'm guessing that's where it's from.
Yeah. Anyway, aside from obvious reasons, the reason I invite you today is I just want to have a little chat. I mean, I was just thinking about when we started this adventure. Why did you come with me? Was it just to make sure I didn't stumble into a big hole?
Are you going to be offended if I say yes?
No, I'm not. I was really not my best self back then.
Yeah, I was mostly going to make sure that you didn't die.
I thought as much. I'm trying to change. I'm trying with my master's.
I think you're doing a lot
my
better.
master's teaching. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move forward and not be such a ninny.
Well, then drink up your orange juice, because people that aren't ninnies have to go big and strong.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Do you regret coming with me?
I mean, I don't really know what else I would have done.
Well, the reason I say is I don't want you to stay around just to protect me, or just feel like you need to protect me. Do you feel like you have a purpose here, a reason to be here, aside from me? I mean, I love your company. I want to be around you, my dear friend, for as long as possible, but don't feel an obligation, please.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you needed the amount of protection you needed before. I think that you're getting there. I don't know why I'm sticking around.
How do you feel about our teammates? Do you feel a connection or just a duty?
I mean, they're all right. I think they're a little crazy and it's hard to figure out what's going on half the time. I don't know. Thank goodness Kotatar's around. I probably would have lost my mind by now.
They all seem very fond of you.
Why would you say that?
I see the way they look at you, with smiles and warmth.
We're talking about me.
Yes. Especially San Leon. I mean, you can tell that he...
Oh, that's because he cheats every time we race.
But that's his way of showing affection. And his little quips, that means he loves you all the more.
I think his little quips just mean that he's trying not to be upset about something.
Well, perhaps 50-50, yes, there could be 2 reasons there.
Well, I don't know. I think I will stick around. I think as irritated as they make me sometimes, they are good people. And
I'm so glad to hear that.
I think that it gives me something to do.
Here's to that. Anyway, thank you for being my friend. And for all
Thanks
everything.
for being mine and dragging me along.
Anytime, my dear. Oh, when I was over at your house the other day, I tripped over your rug and I noticed some weird scratchings on the floor.
No, that
What was that?
You know, the other night we'd been playing this game. You like draw things on the floor and you try to guess what they are. It was a terrible game. I hate it. I'm never playing it again.
Oh, yes, we played a similar game back in
Yeah.
Sackville, didn't we? Yes, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Hey, so if you haven't ever tried orange juice, have you ever tried cranberry juice?
Cranberry juice? No, what is this magical drink I hear?
And I will start telling you all of the magical juices that you have been missing out on.
Ah!
And
That's-
as you guys
and scene.
yes, as you learn about juices and the magic that lies within them, Reginald, you gain a +1 to your insight.
Ooh, I have insight.
And we come back to the table where Kotatar sits strong next to Makiak. And Kotatar, what has this past month been for you, and what has stood out?
A struggle. There is, however, at this point, a level of peace sort of written on his face and in his eyes. And as like we sort of move back about a month, the eyes more gaunt, little bloodshot, much more burnt out, more upsetty Betty Kotatar. As he sits in Makiak's study, Makiak sitting behind his desk. And we seem to sort of catch them in mid-conversation. So I thought the most infuriating thing that's happened to me in the past several months would be defeating this Chaos Phoenix and not really getting anywhere closer to finalizing whatever this shit is with the Nightmare King. And then suddenly, Reginald walks out of the room, Paladin of Makiak.
I'm sorry if that upset you. I did take into consideration your feelings. But I think he needs me.
I've learned to properly never second guess you. And I'm not in this situation. I'm just trying to do things a little differently. Because what I've realized is, as much as these people have leaned on me, I need to learn to lean on them.
Do you not wish to see Reginald grow as a person?
Of course I do, and honestly, it's probably a much larger nightmare if it was anybody else.
I will only guide him to the edge of limbo. He will have to fend for himself soon. When you leave this place, he will have to learn on his own. I will be there as a guide for him when I can. But for you, you will leave limbo again?
This threat is still out there. And on top of that, as much as it pains me to admit, we wouldn't have gotten this far without any of them, including Reginald.
They will not always look to you as a leader. And how will that make you feel?
It's like putting on this new jacket, this new role. And I haven't quite figured out how I feel about that. So I haven't even considered the opposite. But I also sincerely doubt that we will go back to whatever came before. There's too much has happened. But I suppose there is a positive side to that. But I also think that as you know, trust is not something I give to many. And I've certainly only opened my heart to you. But though as much as I hate to admit it, strategically that might make sense for me to do that for them.
It is not a weakness to open your heart to others. In fact, it is a strength. You are very strong in many ways. But sometimes I worry that you are holding back in fear of what it might mean to become vulnerable.
I wish you were there. This fight. You know, I never doubted Menur Og's existence, though many, or perhaps even some do. The legends too powerful. The myths too unbelievable. But I do see. He said something very strange to me. Something of perhaps becoming, use the word sage. And I thought to myself, perhaps this path that I've chosen, though initially thinking it a boon, Perhaps it's too narrow. The road ahead seems just as long as it ever has been.
Does it frighten you to think that you could become sage-like?
No. Just doesn't seem right.
Maybe not now, but the future may hold it.
And in truth, a year ago, these people were nothing more than shields to me. And now we're saving the world and sharing tea.
I like what you have become, who you have become. Of course, I loved you then. I love you just as much now. But what I love most is seeing your growth, your agreeance to change, to allow others in. It makes me happy.
And like there's like that like the grin of someone being like stabbed. Like it's just like I'm happy to hear it.
He sees it all over your face.
Yeah, you can't keep anything from him.
Yeah.
But I'll never be too far. And besides, now we have a very cute poem on the wall.
I love it. It's perfect.
I admit I quite enjoy it too. Not really sure how to explain that to her though.
Look at you getting all gushy.
No. Go back to your book.
Love you too. And if there's nothing else for you, Kotatar, you gain a +1 also to your insight, as you have learned much about your companions.
I think, and we'll go ahead and put the hashtag Dani was right. As much as Jacob thought differently at the time. I think he's also learned a lot about himself too.
Yeah, that's good. And back to the table once more. The last one filing in is little Nira. And as you see your friends gathered around a table, looking at you, we flash back to what this month has meant for you.
For Nira, she spent a lot of this month writing just everything that's been going on and putting details in her book and drawing little pictures to go with it. She has also taken this time to be a little nosy. She's been just kind of showing up to houses and people aren't there, and oh look, the door's open. Oh look, there's a secret tunnel to your house you might not have known about. She's 100% stolen jewels off of Reginald's psychotic altar.
What a great way to describe that.
She probably steals at least one a day. She hasn't noticed yet. It's Reginald's though. She wasn't surprised by that. I think the only house she probably won't go into is Kotatar's. But that's mostly because of Makiak and he's not involved in this.
He's not part of the scheme.
So I don't know how much everyone is okay with me having like rummaged their house. Which, if so, Silva, you know what I'm about to ask you. Nira has found it. And can I do an Arcana check or something?
Yes, I would say so, because she she erases it like when she's done, but chalk does leave an imprint. So I'd say you see chalk. You see it's been smeared. You see there have been various shapes drawn on. For like, it seems that a circle seems to be more popular, but you can tell that other types of things have been kind of like scrawled over it as well. Maybe some squares, triangles, stars, things like that. Yeah, Hope, could I have her roll like a Arcana check, and if it's very good, give her maybe something extra juicy?
Oh, very good.
Very good. Okay, cool.
It was not very good. It's a 9. It's
Okay.
No chicken parmesan.
Every time you try to get close to me,
It's so
Begging you to roll well.
right?
You play a song with Sand, natural 20. Investigate Silva.
Yeah, right. Yep.
She's my Hia. I can't ever defeat her.
I am your arch nemesis. I'll say that you can tell that a lot of these symbols, it's like seeing a kid write, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. There's like a lot of simplistic arcane symbols that beginners would use. You're not entirely quite sure of the intention of what it's trying to do, but you can tell that it is an attempt at magic, specifically written.
Okay.
Which would be in the realm of wizards typically. But you also see the
That's
books on the shelf, I think, too.
Okay. She'll make note of all the things she finds, but nothing will be disturbed. She'll put everything back. She doesn't actually take anything from Silva. I think the only person who gets things stolen, Reginald for sure loses jewels on that thing. Partly doing to help him. Everyone is missing one cup. It is now in Nira's home. It is your cup when you come to visit.
Oh.
So anyone who has come to visit would have gotten your cup. And like I said, she's just writing and being nosy. She's also kind of giving, she is over at David's more, but it's visible. She hasn't been sneaking around David's because she is suspicious.
There's always like a snack in the room when you kind of come up. There's always just like a little snack
she's
waiting
suspicious,
for you.
But it always gets eaten. I feel like it has little taste cards. I leave little notes about how these hints and flavors work together.
Anything else, Nira?
That's it. She does a lot of things with people, like the fighting and the stuff with David, but that's her background stuff, is being sneaky.
Nira, you may have grown more than most people here as learning to fight, learning about Silva, being sneaky and rummaging through people's houses and stealing little things. I'm gonna say you're gonna get a +1 to your
Level.
sleight of hand.
Worth a shot. Yay!
One quick note about the table that we're all sitting at.
Mhm.
It is an automagical Lazy Susan. So as he like pours out the carafe into these cups, you see him like whisper a word in Gith, and it just over to whoever he essentially said, because he's essentially saying your name in Gith and pouring your tea, and it is automatically popping over to whoever he says.
So, as this month has gone by, you guys have had inklings of talking about what to do next. But you guys did take the time to not think about it. You know, you live a
unless
little.
you're Kotatar.
Yeah, unless you're
Or David.
or
David's been journaling.
And it finally has come to the moment that you guys decided it's time. We've had our healing, we know that there's things to be done and we need to face it. So you guys all around this table with Makiak as well, what would you like to do?
I'm going to approach Makiak and notice that
Get away from him!
Notice that his cup is empty.
Nira mutters under her breath.
His cup is empty, and I'm going, oh, let me get that for you, master. And he quickly rushes out to get some orange juice.
Makiak's just like, how many times do I have to tell you? Not your master.
Sorry, master. Sorry. And then he goes out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean over to Silva and San, whoever's next to me. I'm like, this is weird, right?
I've told him that.
I pull out
But
a
is this
handful
familiar,
of, like, jewels, and
Silva?
I show Silva, and I put it away.
You said you did what?
I pulled out a handful of stones that you would have seen on his thing, and I put them away, so just so you could see them. And I
Nice.
I like kind of like roll my eyes at that, like, yep.
Lee, you had your hand up?
I just,
Yeah.
if everyone kind of arrived, David has a plan to start, unless Kotatar wants to dive in on starting the meeting. You got.
So Reginald's left the room, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just like look over at Mac and be like, you know, you're going to have to let that boy down gently.
Time heals. He just says time heals all.
But time alone heals nothing.
Okay, so David's gonna get up, and over the big table, he's just gonna kind of put his hands like this and just sort of like that, and kind of make stars, constellations in the sky, like in front of him, and they kind of glow. And then he closes them up and opens his hand, and there's just like overlapping map, like 3D maps basically, that like start forming in the circle, like on the table in front of us. And he'll open with, so far, everything that we've done has been reactionary. We end up in a place. We end up somewhere. And it's gotten us, I don't want to say nowhere, but anyone have any better insights on the Nightmare King, or why he's doing this, or where his power could? Yeah, Sam?
I've been thinking about it for a while. As to how this Nightmare King operates. And, of course, he did me over quite thoroughly. Do you remember that one champion we all got buddy on with? I was particularly buddy on with, and I was very upset about that. And he starts putting book after book onto the table, opening bits and bobs. You see, like, there's paper that he just kind of takes out, and it's kind of like those, like, folding diagrams of various bits and here, and goes, I think that, well, to be honest, I think that he requires more champions. I don't think that this Nightmare King can operate solely by himself. So he's trying to tempt those that he can to his side. I mean, he's a god, right?
This is
We don't even know
what you were
that?
saying last month.
Well, he tried to tempt me, didn't he? So, if he is a god, this isn't confirmed, but if he is a god, well, wouldn't a god need followers?
Right.
It's
Right.
prayer, certainly.
And you said that he wanted you said that if he knew about your family, they would willingly join. Do you
I think so, yeah.
do you think he's already contacted them?
If and he opens one of the books, and you see he's uncomfortable, but he's doing this anyway. Opens a book and kind of looks at all. He goes, "My family are not good people. I arguably might be an exception. I hope I am. But with what they do, they subdued an entire, or more of an entire continent by themselves. They are conquerors. They have swaths of people under their rule. If the Nightmare King wanted followers, I think that would be an amazing place to start. If I were the Nightmare King, I would go for corrupt, evil, despicable individuals, easily manipulated with power to follow, to create a bargain with or something. My father is perfect for that."
Reginald will come back into the room now and give Maciak the orange juice in his cup. Says, "Here you go, master. Oh, serviette. Yes, yep, sorry. Saint Leon.
Yes, right.
You saying we should go to your family's location next? Is what you're saying, right?
Yes. In a non beating around the bush way. I feel like that is the next logical step, and
Hold on.
as much as I don't. Yes.
David just mentioned our reactiveness. We need to be sure. Absolutely sure. Kotatar looks at Mac. Yeah, just real quick. Kotatar looks at Maciak. Do we have access to being able to scry?
Yes, we do.
I can scry.
We all do all these things and we're a month behind on checking in on them. I think we should do that now.
Can I add an addendum to that? This sounds like definitely the place we should go to first. Sand's theorem was very much on point. If we find out that this is the place that we should go to next, perhaps we use Alseta's portal. And if Alseta's portal takes us there, maybe that will cure some of the doubts we have about Alseta.
But if it doesn't take us
And what
there,
if it takes us into a volcano? We don't
if it
know.
takes us somewhere, we wait a day and we use it again. We can use it once a day, right?
I'm just so tired of being on my back foot every time. I'm sorry, Nira.
No, go ahead. Finish. You were saying something.
I'm just tired of being on my back foot, of arriving somewhere. I got Reginald's brother killed because we went into a portal and I thought we were going to land on solid ground. And then we could show him what we do. We ended up in the elsewhere. Totally unprepared. You know, sure, it resulted in this here now, but if we use Alseta's portal again, I would like to have the Anarchs look at the lighthouse so that we can control where it goes. We need to be in charge of what we do.
Yes, I agree
I'm
with that.
I'm tired of showing up.
If the portal
hoping
takes us
we're right.
somewhere else, we do need our own method of traveling. If we end up in the wrong place, you're right. April, go ahead. Sorry, we've been interrupting April. Yeah.
Can't we just get there from here? Like, we don't need a secret magical god portal. We could just go there from here.
Right.
Like, we could just go, like, we're going to go there, and there's going to be a portal here that would take us there. We don't have to hop in some mystery portal.
There were some magical circles there, yes. But that was 400 years ago. I don't know if they're still active.
Okay, we go there, then what?
Well, we need to
for
scry
that-
first.
We
I think you're
we
right.
can still use the portal immediately to go
Right.
somewhere where Alseta wants.
Yes.
But if we don't want to be reactionary, shouldn't we go to a place before it's so bad that we have to go there to save it immediately?
It's proactive.
Yeah, that word.
Certainly.
Right. And Magic's kind of having a moment right now anyways, from as far as we can tell with everything that happened in Limbo. So, I mean, there's no guarantee that it could ever work right with whatever's happening with her and her
Bef-
gifts. So,
Certainly.
Before we do leave
Yeah.
Limbo, David did bring up my brother, and I would like to close out that chapter. But let us keep continuing.
what do you mean close it out?
Yeah, it's been over a month.
Have you just been waiting?
I've
letting
been
him float?
sidetracked. I mean, one may even say I've forgotten about him, but I think that's just me putting my guilt in a little box that I need to face what I did and bury him properly, even if he doesn't deserve it, for me to do the right thing.
You should.
But let us decide on our course of action first.
To be fair, though, and I mean this with absolutely no malice, that doesn't require all of us.
I
It
didn't
just
expect
requires you.
I didn't expect anyone to join me.
Like, you could go do that and we could prepare to go somewhere else. And that way we don't have to do a bunch of stuff.
I'm quite happy to face that journey by myself.
I will go with you.
Master, you'll go with me?
Makiak, yes, I will go with you.
Could just call him
where?
Anarch if you don't want to call him by his name.
Anarch is good.
Master Anarch, yes, I've got it.
I think that's too informal. You should be calling him Master Makiak of whatever realm he is the master of. The full formal title.
Makiak.
Anarch Supreme.
Makiak.
Yes, of course.
Lord Master Makiak, Anarch Supreme of the Limbo.
Taco Bell.
Yes. Savior of the halflings. So on.
Savior of the halflings.
yes.
As soon as Reginald's gonna embroider that on a pillow.
Yep.
Makiak looks at you all and just says, well, San Leon's family aside, where do you want to go? If you could go anywhere.
A library. The library. I mean, the thing is, we talk about San, you bring up a really good point that your family would be perfect for the Nightmare King to coerce. How do you know they already weren't? He got to power and he got to where he was somehow from some means, and he couldn't have done it alone, I don't think. So if we just go into a den of vampires, we have so little information going in. I think we need to research. I think we could find is there any history of this Nightmare King? Are they really a Nightmare King, or is that a guise they wear? Every time we've done something that makes us feel like we're getting closer, it feels like we're farther away. And I fear going right into a literal den of vampires right off the bat. Kotatar, what are your thoughts?
Question for the DM. Could I, considering some of that time, could I have done some research on that
Yes.
during this month? And see if,
Were there-
with the help of the Floating City and the Anarchs, dug anything up?
What exactly are you looking for?
Any other stories about nightmares becoming real that we are not familiar with, that may have been written down here, and cross-reference that with what we've experienced in the prime material?
Give me a history check at advantage.
So glad you said that, because that's a straight roll for me.
Did I give him guidance?
Okay. There it is. Ooh, 4. So that is a 15.
You did find one book in the Floating Cities library, a dusty old book far in the back. And it speaks of this happening once before, something similar. A war between dreams and nightmares. There was a manifest of thoughts that came to fruition across the material plane. And this battle ended in a stalemate. The gods of both sides destroying each other. And there was a time of 100 years where nobody dreamed and nobody had nightmares. Until one day, they respawned.
How long ago would that respawn have been from where we are right now, time-wise?
For the prime material plane, 2,500 years.
So I'll share that with the class.
Cool. I was gonna say, clarification: the war lasted 100 years, or the people didn't have dreams for 100 years?
The people didn't have
Yes.
dreams for 100 years.
Yep.
The battle lasted merely 6 months, but
Okay.
it was a rampant. It had magic that no one could control.
Was
the
there
power
any-
of dreams and nightmares has no bounds.
So you say that it was fought on the prime plane. Were there like armies for each side that were not just dreams? Like, is there anything about who followed, who took part in this war?
Kotatar, give me a history check for that. If
Guidance.
you're doing the reading with guidance.
Is it a straight roll this
Oh
time?
wait. Can I also be looking at the book? Because I have good
Sure.
good readings.
Yeah, I would've brought
I
it.
read good.
Sure. If he brought the book to you, then yeah, sure, absolutely.
So
So, both of you give me a
I'm gonna
history
guide
check
myself.
straight roll.
Okay. 15 on the die.
Can I have guidance or no?
Yeah, you can have
If
guidance.
you didn't guide me, so go for it.
New year, new
Yes.
me, 26.
Hey!
Whoa.
18 on the die.
There was an elven king, a ruler of great armies who harvest gold, silver, and platinum, and their armor is known across the world as the most powerful armor. That is what they're known for. They took up arms with the dreams. And the nightmares enlisted beasts of the prime material. Any creature that could not speak was plagued with the nightmares until they joined. So it was beasts and nightmares versus an army, a large army of elven kind with the dreams. Everyone else maybe a few worshippers, but did not fight.
Does the taking over of the animals remind David anything of like by druidic means? Because that feels real druid, and that's scary.
Absolutely. Give me a survival check.
I have an extra +1 to that now.
Yeah, you do.
Look at that. Coming in handy.
You
All
said
right.
all of us happened how long
It's-
ago?
Still me. I got an 8.
2,500 years. An 8. You get the idea that there is something lingering in all the animals that are ancestors of the nightmares, of those that fought with the nightmares. A lingering evil, a lingering pain.
See, David knew it. Animals suck.
Right? Additional question, and then
Yes.
I promise I won't have any others for now, at least. Where did this stalemate battle take place?
On the edge of the prime material plane and the Feywild.
Hmm. Share that with the class as well.
So,
I think
team, what's a thought? What should we do?
I think scrying needs to happen first.
I can scry right now if you want me to.
Go for it.
But
By all
also,
means.
So,
if we have the means.
tell me about scrying. I've used it a couple times, but let's get this right.
Very magical.
Yes.
Very magic. Very, very cool.
You can see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of well, scrying's useless these days. Nothing's on the same plane.
We know we can
so on
go
the same plane
there,
of
buddy.
existence, the target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target, the sort of physical connection you have to it. If the target knows you're casting the spell, it can fail the saving throw voluntarily if it wants to be observed. And then it has some modifiers. Secondhand information, I've heard of it, +5. First hand, I've met the target.
So, Makiak sees you trying and understanding that you cannot reach outside of this plane, places both of his hands on your shoulder, and they begin to glow. And you feel Makiak's boost of magical energy, and he just whispers to you, "You must choose a plane, and I can help you scry there."
And who am I trying to scry on again?
Kotatar will look at Sunleon.
Tell me about your paw.
I would say that, well, his name is Thaddeus Hildebrand.
Description.
Well, he's, I've actually
Come
got
too
a
far
drawing
now.
pictures. He's tall, very tall, a lot taller than I am. Bigger, imposing. He almost always wears some form of half plate, covered with a cloak. He has a goatee and has sort of black slicked back hair. Maybe it's silvered over age, I'm not sure. Although I guess he hasn't aged at all. He has eyes like mine. In fact, our facial features are rather similar.
I'm gonna ask you a really weird question. Do you have a body part, a lock of hair, bit of nail, or something like that?
Well, I suppose
Do you or a piece of clothing, something that they've owned. It'll make it easier to find them.
This belt that I'm wearing was from the castle.
Take off your pants. I mean, give me the belt.
Whoa.
My pants aren't going to slip down without the belt. It's just when I'm running around.
I need the item.
Yes, all right. Pull off this. It's rather worn leather. It's like everything else on him is quite clean.
Makiak actually looks at you and says, I think it would be stronger if you give us a lock of your hair, Sanleon.
Oh yeah, I guess that would work. It's sort of
yes.
genetic code.
Blood of the relatives and so on, yes?
Or just give me your blood.
You are not the father.
What do you want? Do you want blood or do you want hair?
Just a lock of hair.
No.
Both.
You see him just kind of grab the
David puts a knife back in his pocket.
the dagger that
Kotatar does exactly the same thing that David does.
gifted by Kotatar, flips it around in his hand and just cuts a little bit of hair off, just a lock, and then hands it over.
And then I will take that item and I will start tracing lines in the air and creating star shines where it comes. And then I will create more just shapes through the stars. And then I put my hands to it and just, since this is my first time ever using, I think, a level 5 spell, I'll pulse, and an image of almost everybody in our party pulses and wraps around me and comes back in.
David, you are instantly stretched and pulled back together and stretched, and you're traveling through your mind. You feel yourself begin to melt until everything falls away and then comes into view, and you find yourself in a castle, a large room, and you see a very tall, well-built man.
I'm in a castle, very large room. I see it's all well-built man.
Oh yeah.
Back
so
is
come together.
turned to you, and you hear him speaking to someone. And then he stops. And he turns around and makes eye contact with you. And that's where we end tonight.
Yeah. Good ending.
Cliffhanger.
Hot.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
nice.
Thank you so much for coming back after the break with us. Thank you to everyone
back,
who watched
baby.
live with us. We appreciate you. Everyone who watches on YouTube, listens to our podcast. We're so happy to be back with the new year. and
Yeah.
We'll be back next week to see what happens next. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
But we just started playing.
My friend, I see you've changed your face. My friend, what game you play today? Will you stay, roll the dice, spare a life? My friend, will you remain behind? Oh,